looking at the Arlo Pro 2 camera system. I'm going to show you the Arlo Pro system and the Arlo, in general, the Arlo system that's available from Netgear, and you can actually pick it up at Best Buy. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to explain to you how you can install it. I'm going to really make it just very easy for you to go out today if you wanted and put a security system around your home that'll cost you a fraction of the cost and give you way more customization over what you might get from a competitor out there who's going to charge you for monitoring fees and that kind of thing. One of the reasons I love the Arlo system so much is that it's customizable. You can put the cameras where you want to. They're completely wire-free. They run off rechargeable batteries. You can buy spare batteries, you can buy extra cameras, you can buy more cameras, less cameras. I have 10 cameras around my home in different places, exterior and interior. You can put them anywhere that the hub will reach the Wi-Fi signal. So generally, for the most part, anywhere that your Wi-Fi signal will get to. They're not that expensive. You buy the system, you install it, you're done. You don't have to pay anything as long as you stay under 5 cameras. And then if you want to go up to 10 cameras, it's right now, I think it's $99 a year. We'll get you 10 cameras. The 5 cameras around your home will cost you nothing beyond the initial fees, and you get 7 days of actual recording time. So you can go back and look at things 7 days back. And when I started the video off, you saw that I was browsing on my phone, and while I was browsing, I got the alert that popped up to tell me there was motion. That's the way it comes through. You can set it up as an audio, just like if you were getting a text message. You can set it up to be on silent. You see the vibration come through, you see the little alert, you pull it up, you see what's going on around your home. If there's something happening that shouldn't be, at that point you call the police. And in addition to the fact that you're calling the police and saying, hey, my security system is going off, can somebody come check it out? You can do that with any security system. You, with a camera system, you're looking at it and you say, hey, my camera system is showing me that there's somebody inside my home. Priority of a call like that goes way up. Now the police are going to respond because there's actually somebody here. So let's take a look at the Arlo camera system. Now, I'm not advocating for Best Buy here. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them from a lot of different places. But if you were watching this video and you've been thinking about security and suddenly you decide this is for you, you can get up and go to Best Buy today and buy these. So we'll use Best Buy as an example. And I'll go here and I'll just search for Arlo, A-R-L-O, and you'll see the results should give us probably an example of some of their older technology, which the original Arlo camera system, it was nice, but it was battery powered, didn't have audio, and there were some errors with it where you get kind of a red-pink tint across it. So I would avoid the Arlo wire-free, which is the original Arlo system, and instead stick with the Arlo Pro or the Arlo Pro 2. And here you go, 2 Arlo systems come up. So you got the Arlo Pro indoor-outdoor HD wire-free on the right here. That's a 4-camera system with the hub. That's $649 right now. And then you've got the Arlo Pro 2 security camera system. That's 4-camera kit, sorry. And it's running $799. So what are the differences? Both have wireless. They're completely wireless. You can plug them in if you want to, if you have a close by outlet wherever they're located. It comes with a cord and power, and you can mount them that way. Then you don't have to worry about charging them or anything, obviously. You can run them both off of rechargeable batteries, and they use a mixture of the same battery. So if you had, like I do, that camera on the driveway that you were looking at, that's the Arlo Pro 2 camera. Then there's the Arlo Pro, which is the second camera you were looking at, which is the one that faces my front door. And both use the same rechargeable battery, both run off of the same exact hub. Both of them do most of the same things. You've got sound, you've got video, you've got motion alerts. There's really no difference there. The biggest difference is the Arlo Pro 2 has, first of all, 1080p video versus the 720p video. Now, if you go back and look, there's not a huge difference between the 720 and the 1080, at least not to me. On a large computer screen, though, if you put it up there, and you're trying to identify specific features, the 1080 can be pretty useful, which is why that camera is pointed at my driveway looking at my vehicles. So overall, there is a benefit to the 1080. However, it may not be so great that if you were trying to decide today, do I want to do this? But $800 seems kind of pricey. Maybe $649 seems more reasonable. you could start off with $649, and you could always come back and add in another camera with the Arlo Pro camera. And if you needed one high definition camera, maybe the rest of your cameras are going to be so close. You know, for instance, that driveway, it's catching such a large area. The 1080p, the higher quality, makes sense to have it out there to me, whereas the front door camera, you're only a few feet away from the subject you're looking at. So and most people, they walk up to the front door, they don't even pay attention to the camera half the time. They knock on the door, and then when I talk to them through the camera, they turn around and look straight at it. So that's when you get your really good quality look at who you're looking at. So both have the same general features. You can even see here there's 3,818 people have rated the Arlo Pro itself, and they've given it, looks like, I want to say that's 4.5 stars, but it almost looks like 4.25 stars. And then the 34 people who've rated the Arlo Pro 2 camera system give it 3 stars, and I think that'll just grow as more and more people rate it. Overall, the system is absolutely fantastic. Let me go ahead and switch over real quick, and I'll go to just a regular video here, and I'll show you what the setup looks like. Okay, here we are in my sunroom, and this is actually the far corner, one corner of my home. So you can see this is where my system is set up, and I've got a router from Apple. This is what my normal internet runs through, so you will need an internet connection. I'd recommend the fastest connection you can get at whatever price you can afford to be able to stream the video and everything. But any broadband connection here in the neighborhood should take care of you, especially depending on how many cameras you're running, that kind of thing. From there, that's plugged into the wall. Then on the back of this, whatever router you have, there's always going to be some extra ports. Those ports right there are where the Arlo base station plugs into, and that's the Arlo base station. You can see there's a button on the top that says to sync and siren off. Sync is when you're first setting up the cameras, adding a new camera. Siren is the actual siren itself. That's where you come over and physically turn it off. On the front, there's a few buttons, there are a few lights that tell you the status, and that's it. That's pretty much it. On the back, I think there's a little power button down there if you want to turn it on and off. But other than that, there's nothing to it. You plug this into the wall, you plug it into your router. You go through a little setup on your phone or your iPad or your computer, and from there you're pretty much good to go. In fact, I can look up here. That is one of the Arlo cameras right there, and that is the actual original Arlo camera system, the original Arlo wire-free. That just gives video only. There's no audio to it, and it runs on non-rechargeable batteries. So it's not my favorite, but you know, that was the first system they had, and that's what I started with. In fact, I'll go outside and I'll let you get a look at the cameras from looking at them so you can see what they look like. So this right here is my front door looking at the camera system. That's the second camera you were looking at. And that is, if I can zoom over to it here, that is the Arlo Pro camera there that's facing down towards my front door. So as you can see, it's not very big, but it is obvious that there's a camera there, and that's on purpose. I could hide it away someplace, I could tuck it in a corner, and maybe even try to find a way to camouflage it, but I want somebody to notice a camera and go, maybe I don't want to mess around over here because there's cameras. It's better to break into somebody else's house. I'll go over here to the driveway. And again, another camera up there. Not so obvious that it's annoying, but at the same time, you notice that there's a camera there. The night that the guys were out here walking around my car and getting into things, they had hoodies pulled up. They weren't covering their faces though, which tells me he didn't notice the camera. He even looked over in a general direction of it. And at night, then the night vision comes on, there's these little red lights on it that light up, and he still didn't really notice the camera. Plus, generally speaking, cameras just record stuff, and nobody's really worried about getting caught on a camera, and especially when they have hoodies up and things like that. They're just more worried about being confronted. If you don't have motion alerts on a camera system, it's not really doing you much good, because it's just kind of a, hey, later on, did you notice that this happened? Go back and look at the video and see why it is the way it is. I've added this in to give you an idea of what video looks like when it's captured. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. Somebody was out messing around by cars. This subject was walking away from my vehicle when the camera alerted me. I saw it pop up. He walked over next door and was kind of hiding between the vehicles there, and I confronted him and called the police, that kind of thing. But this is what you get. This is how it looks. 720p, pretty good quality. 1080, a little bit better. Okay, so installation. Let's talk about what you do to install. So first thing you do is you hook up that hub in there to the router, like I was saying, and then you run through an app download for either your phone, or you log in through your computer, or you go in your tablet. Then once you get in there, you set up your little account. You follow a on-screen process that tells you how to actually connect the various cameras to your hub, and then you can go and install them. So as far as the installation, it's really very simple, and for that I'm demonstrating using, this is one of the original wire frees that I was telling you about, and the pros are just a little bit bigger in your hand. But the concept is the same because the installation's the same. So this is one of the deck areas here, and you can see right here this little screw. So you put the screw into the area where you're going to do the install. You've got this little piece here. This is some kind of metal to it with a little bit of a coating on it. So it's probably just a little bit of steel in there with a coating over top of it, and it's a kind of a half moon shape. You can see how big it is in my hand. That's got a little picture hanger style hanger on the back. Push that down over top of it, and then you've got your Arlo camera. Your Arlo camera has a little dent on the back there. That dent has a big magnet inside of it. Point it where you want it to go, and that's it. Now the question would be, well, wait a minute, can't somebody easily steal those? Sure, they can walk up, look straight into the camera, pull it off, and throw it off to the side, or take it with them, or something like that. So they do sell a mount that's a little more sturdy. It's a screw type mount, and I'll go out front and let you see one of those. We're back out front. We're looking at the Arlo Pro 2, which again, you can see the size of it in my hand, not very big. Or I'm sorry, this is the Arlo Pro. The Arlo Pro 2, exact same size. This is the more stable mount, it gives you more angles. It's a little more secure. This one, there's a screw on the back of the Arlo systems where you can screw into that with kind of a tripod mount, and this adjustable bracket right here lets you adjust the angle, and then you put a couple screws. Still, you could reach up, you could unscrew it, you could pull it off, you could yank it down or whatever, but it's gonna make it a little harder to steal it. Ultimately, there's really nothing they could do to make it so you can't ever steal a camera system. But most people, if they're going to do anything, they're just going to try to knock them off to the side, and that's where having multiple areas of coverage can help out. But the biggest thing is, if somebody comes up and knocks this camera off to the side or does something to it, you get your alert telling you that somebody's messing with your cameras, and you look at the video, you see the person, and you deal with it from there. Alright, so I've talked about how much the camera system costs. I've covered how much connectivity there is, the fact that you can put cameras in different locations. To reiterate on the cost though, 5 cameras, you can do that for free after you, of course, pay the purchase cost, but there's no monitoring costs or anything like that, no subscription fees. More than 5 cameras, up to 10 cameras, costs you, I believe, $99 a year right now. So, and the difference being 5 cameras, you get 7 days monitoring on your videos. You can go back and look at 7 days worth, up to 1 gigabyte, I think it is. And then for the $10 a month, or the $99 it used to be $10 a month, now it's $99 a year, so $8 something a month, you get 30 days of monitoring, so 30 days worth of videos that you can go back and look at, and that's up to 10 gigabytes, I think it is. So as long as you stay under 5 cameras, you can do it for nothing beyond the cost of going out and purchasing them. And then you don't even need they'll sell you a recharging little block that they've got. If you want it, it makes it a little more convenient. You can buy a spare battery or 2. You can recharge 2 batteries at once real fast, but you don't really need it because you can plug in any of the cameras to use as a rechargeable or as a charger to recharge your batteries. So let's go into the app. The app itself, this is on my phone screen. So I've got the Arlo app here. I pull up the Arlo app, log in. Once I'm logged into it, you can use Touch ID on your phone if you've got that enabled, or you can use just a password. So once you're in, then you can see the cameras and how they're installed around your home, how they're set up, and then there's an alarm down here. I'll go ahead and set off the alarm real fast. This is what the alarm sounds like. I'm sitting on the other side of my house. So I'm sitting in the dining room, and the sunroom is on the opposite side, and I can hear everything just fine. So that gives you an idea of exactly what you'll get. You can set that up so that if somebody makes audio, or if they move in front of, they do some motion, it'll go off automatically with no problem whatsoever. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features you can get into now. So the camera system is set up, as you can see this. So technology being what it is, at this point I realized the sound went out where I was recording. So I'll just kind of describe what you're seeing here on the app. On the right-hand side there, I've put it into live view. On the left-hand side, I just turned on the live view as well, and I muted both the sound. So you can mute the sound if you wanted to for some reason. You can, if you look across the top, it says living room, and it shows the little symbol that looks like an ear. That's to tell you if you're monitoring for sound, if you're monitoring for motion, the Wi-Fi connectivity, and whether or not you're on battery or plugged in. Just across to the right, the little clock looking thing, that's for going back and looking if you've got continuous monitoring, which is an additional charge. That just records all the time. The number 1 inside the little kind of circle there tells you one video that I've not reviewed, and then the little gear is the settings option. Down across the bottom of the video is the pause, the record button for manual recording, a little camera button for taking pictures. The little brightness setting button is right there, and it looks like a little sun. A microphone if you want to be able to turn on and actually talk to somebody through the speaker, which is a nice feature. You can press to hold on your computer or your phone or tablet or whatever, and say, you know, hey, what are you doing, or how are you, or whatever, and then they can talk back to you. You can hear them. It's a little bit of a delay. The little speaker button mutes the sound, like I said, and then the little 2 arrows going away from each other, that's to make it go to a wide screen so you can see that camera only. Looking across the bottom, it says devices. That's how you get to this screen here. Library is where you pull up the screen that shows you all the different recorded videos. Mode is where you set your different modes as far as if it's actively recording or if it's disabled, or you can do custom settings in there. And then the settings, that's just where you go in and change settings on the app, change settings for the cameras themselves, that kind of thing. Right there is the brightness setting. You can see there, you can tap that and adjust the brightness on the camera. And the little microphone button is what I'm demonstrating here. You can do the press to hold and speak. When you do that, you can, like I said, talk to somebody who's on the other end. Right there, I'm demonstrating. I'm pressing down, holding, talking, and then you can hear the audio if the audio had recorded. It looks like now the next thing I'll do is shift over and go into more of a wide format on the living room camera so you can see what a full screen view would look like. Turn off the sound here, and then I'll switch over. There you go. This is a wide view angle. This would be what your phone would show you, or your tablet would show you if you went in, and you can zoom in and out with just a pinch to zoom option. Back over to the devices screen, you can scroll down, you can see all your different cameras. And I'll switch over here. Go back. This is the library, and this is where you can see all the available cameras. Just check the main screen here. All the available cameras that have recorded. So any motion that's been recorded, it'll grab. You can tell it to record only on motion, or to record for a certain amount of time. That's me standing in my den there. You can see a little video clip there as I'm walking in. And I've got that one set that if it sees motion, to go ahead and record 2 minutes. And obviously, if you've got the ones with the sound, it'll pick up the sound as well and record that for you. Back inside the app here, still looking at the library. This is going to be the mode. If you click on the mode button at the bottom, here you can change the settings for whether or not if it's armed, disarmed. You can set up Custom settings, like I said. I mean, generally it's just a very customizable, very programmable system. Easy to do from your tablet, your smartphone. Easy to adjust from your computer. If you have a firewall or something like that in the way you will have to deal with that. One thing I should mention too, Comporium has moved to where you need a static IP to be able to use IP cameras. So any kind of system like this, you're going to need to contact Comporium, tell them you need a static IP, and that's $5 per month to have that on there. So that's a consideration to take into account. Hopefully I've covered the system well enough to give you a good idea of what the features are, and it'll be useful.